As a Muslim man, being ambitious is amazing, but it could be the exact same thing that is keeping you stuck, not succeeding in your big goals in life. I'm Ameen Omar. I've coached hundreds of Muslim men on their business and life, written that book over there, and built a few good businesses in the process. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand why ambition could actually be pulling you back from your goals. And of course, the secret of why procrastination and ambition often come together. So think of it like this. Being ambitious can often be like turning up to base camp, Mount Everest, looking up at that mountain, and you're wearing flip-flops. And you've gone to base camp thinking, yes, I'm ready. I'm going to climb that mountain. I'm going to do it. No training, no gear, just vibes and ambition. That's what being too ambitious looks like. And what's the conclusion of that? You turn away from base camp and walk home in your flip-flops because you aim too high for where you were in the process, wearing your flip-flops. Also, you've probably been raised by society, by social media, by your parents, and by the teachings of Islam itself to be ambitious, to aim high. The Prophet ﷺ, said, if you ask of Allah, ask for Firdaus, ask for the top thing. And also, we've heard these things in lectures that Allah can give you anything. So why not ask him for the best of the best? Don't go to a king asking for £5–10. Go to the king, ask for £1,000–10,000. And these things are great, but the problem is when we have the ambition, but we don't have the tools to match that ambition and connect the gap. And what's worse is that when we have these ambitions and we tell our friends and people around us, we feel like we've accomplished something. We get that dopamine hit just from having a goal, having an ambition, and telling people. And the bigger the goal, the more dopamine hit we get from it. So we're rewarding ourselves for doing nothing. And when you get that dopamine hit, you feel good about it. The pressure of actually taking action and achieving that big ambitious goal kind of falls off a cliff. So if you have big, vague, ambitious goals and you don't know the next steps, then you're bound to procrastinate on them, not take action, and not achieve them in the first place. And that is the fundamental problem here. It's not laziness that stops you achieving these big goals. It's your brain having a spasm because your goal is just too big for where you are standing right now. It's too vague. And the big problem with this is we have an ummah right now of Muslim men who are ambitious, who do have big goals in the dunya, but also in the akhirah, and to impact and change the world. But they turn up to those goals like facing Everest and wearing flip-flops. And when you multiply that by hundreds of millions of Muslim men who could be changing the world, but they're not, then it's just a sad state of affairs on a personal level and on the level of the whole ummah. So let's fix this by having the right level of ambition and the action to back it up. How do we do that? The first thing is you need to go from having general ambitious goals to having very clear specific goals 1 year at a time. And even when you have those 1 year goals, break them down into 90-day periods. So every year you can have 4 goals that are all ambitious, but when they're 90-day ones, they're going to be very specific, not vague, and therefore not so intimidating. It's very clear what you want to achieve. Now, this doesn't mean you can't dream big. It doesn't mean that you can't say, in my life, I'm starting an e-commerce business now, and I want to dominate this whole industry in the next few years. That's my general vision and direction for my life. But does that mean that this year I'm going to get a business from $0 to $1 million a month when I've never done that before? Not really, but we can take the first step towards that right now by having a very clear goal for the year and then 90-day goal starting today. So instead of having this very big number of $1 million a month or $100,000 a month or whatever, when you're not even started your business, start today with something very manageable and step it up over time. This way, you don't get intimidated and things are very clear what you're trying to achieve today and the next few months, 3 months to be precise. So if in month 12 of the year, you want to be on 100K a month, I mean, that is possible, unlikely, but possible. Well, then this 3 months, the first 3 months, I want you to aim to make $500, $1,000, $3,000 and make it very clear and really work hard on getting that. That's the hardest part actually, after all, the first few $1,000s. And once you've taken your goal for the year, chopped it into pieces, and now you've got your 90-day plan, make that plan very specific. Do your research on what's most likely to get you success in that. Spend a week or something really researching the best, most efficient methods. And then make your full plan in full detail so you don't have to think of what to do. Every week is clearly laid out for you what work you have to do. And now you're not in that la-la land of I've got this ambitious goal and the dopamine is kicking in and I'm telling all my friends I feel good about it for doing nothing. Now you only feel good when you work on those exact steps that you said you have to take this week in order to achieve that 3-month, and then that 1-year goal. And trust me, when you accomplish these things, you start to get that positive feedback loop of when I take real action, I feel great about it, I get the results. So I take more action and I feel great about it and I get more results. Whereas the opposite is that I say I've got this big goal, I feel great about it, so then I say more and I feel great about it and I say more, but in the end you don't get the results from that. And the other thing to make sure you actually take action on those goals and you don't get hyped up with a goal and then even plan it out, which is a great step to take next, but then you fizzle out and you're not consistent on your action taking. The way to fix this is to get accountability. Get somebody, ideally someone who's not your friendly, casual friend, somebody you look up to a little bit maybe, someone who you got a formal relationship with, and they should know a little bit about accountability coaching perhaps. Get them to hold you accountable. I believe in this so much. That's how I got success in my business, and that's why I offer that to brothers now. So if we were going to go back to the brother in flip-flops looking at Everest, feeling intimidated, how would we change that with what we know now? Well, firstly, we would set the vision of one day I want to climb Everest in the next few years. Then we would say, in this year, what do I want to accomplish? Well, I want to get to this level of fitness and I want to visit base camp, for example. Okay, that's my goal for the year. Okay, what's my goal for the next 90 days? Okay, I want to get to X level of fitness, however you measure that. It should be measurable, something like your VO2 max or however you measure your stamina. And you can see here that we're still ambitious. We still have that goal of climbing Everest, but we're turning everything into very concrete and shorter term things that would actually get us to it. And we're never feeling intimidated because we know that that goal of Everest, it's there, but it's a little bit distant. And what is closer is those small steps that we take today to get fitter, to buy the equipment, and to eventually get to base camp, and then eventually make that climb. And this exact thing happened to me. When I was 18, I wanted to do business. I was always worried or kind of scared of getting a 9-to-5 normal office job. Even though I fit into the school and university system, I did well in it, but I just didn't like the idea of working in an office 9-to-5 for some reason. So I always wanted to do business. I had these big goals, big dreams. And I had a good friend of mine that we used to talk about this topic with, and we would hype each other up and have these ambitions and get that dopamine hit from it. But at age 20, I attended a business conference. That conference led me to learning about affiliate marketing, which led me to learn about digital marketing. And I always had that ambition of doing business, and then eventually it narrowed down to doing online business, and then eventually narrowed down to doing something related to digital marketing. But bit by bit, I was taking little steps. I didn't let it just stick with the big talk and the big ambitions and do nothing about it. We tried a productivity course for students, didn't really work out. We tried to turn that into an ebook and sell it using affiliate marketing, what we learned. It didn't work. Then we had little jobs, so then we saved up money and we started Amazon FBA. Now we put thousands of pounds into this and we worked on it and we had those dreams, ambitions, and we were excited about it, but it didn't work out. But the point was, we were taking steps, we were taking action. And we were getting fulfillment and satisfaction from doing and not talking. And that's what made the biggest difference. And then what actually got me my first real success, my first thousands of pounds in my pocket from online business, was when I had 2 new business partners. We started a marketing agency together and we had clear steps, right? We had this dream that eventually we would get to 100K a month or whatever, but we didn't focus on that. We focused on what are we doing this week? And we had meetings every week and we would say, you had that task, did you do it? Yes or no? And the pain of saying no was high. The benefit and the desire of saying yes was high. Therefore, I did what I said I would do. I took action. And those little steps every single week did eventually get us to $100K in 1 month. This is the exact process that worked for me. And this is even what worked for the Prophet ﷺ, because when he was first given revelation, he didn't know what he was going to have to go through, but he knew the overall vision and the overall ambition, which is to spread the message of Islam and to make sure that Allah is worshipped in a way that he's deserving of. And then every day there was a step and a step and a step. The Prophet ﷺ didn't know he was going to be boycotted. He didn't know that he was going to be in a battle of Badr against 1,000 of the Quraysh. If he knew that, it might have intimidated him too much. But because he knew the overall vision and he was focused on the daily steps, that is how he pushed forward. And that's how the Sahaba pushed forward. So always dream big and trust in Allah that Allah will make that happen, but act small, act today, take the little steps. And if you're ambitious, but you're not taking enough action, you're not succeeding yet in those goals, it might be that you're smart and you're overthinking things. So I made this video that's on screen right now. which goes through how to stop the overthinking, how to use your intelligence for you and not against you, because that really does happen. So watch that video right now.